William Perkin or Bill Perkin has written a book, Dying with Zero, which means by the time you die, your assets should be zero. That's his concept, which is an American concept. Even in the Indian context, can you think of dying with zero? Do you want to go to zero by the time you die? Actually, it's not such a bad concept, because if you ask your children, if you do a poll, maybe I should do a poll on Twitter, is to ask when do you want the money and how much do you want? Do you want 1 crore at your age of 35? Do you want 3 crores at your age of 55? Or do you want 20 crores at your age of 75? Right? These are the questions to ask. And then you wonder when most people would choose a bigger sum at a younger age. So maybe they won't choose 32, but at 55 getting 2-3 crores could be far more useful than getting 10 crores or 20 crores at their age of 80. And it's very common to find 72-year-olds still living with their mother, in the sense that the mother is also alive. So if you are 72 and your mother was 18 when you were born, so which means she is 90 and she is alive. Say she dies at 94, so you will be 76. At 76, whether you inherit money or no doesn't matter, because you have finished living your life. Would this money have been more useful when you were in your 50s and you were wondering whether to buy a bigger house or whether to send your kid abroad for studies, right? That was a time when you were toying with those ideas and wondering with what you should do. Isn't it useful for your children to get the money when they need it, rather than when you must give? You have no choice. After you die, your money is going to your children. So at what stage should you give? This is very difficult to answer for most people. And therefore this concept of dying with zero. But dying with zero is also very difficult. Do you want to give away all your wealth at 85 and find that you're alive at 95, and your kids are not keen to help you because they've already got what they had to get from you? So that is again a tough question for you to answer. So you should answer it yourself. You don't expect anybody else to answer it for you. So dying with zero is again another concept where let's say there is a mother who is 85 years of age. Her eldest kid is now 64, 63, 64. She has already paid through her nose for her daughter's education and son's education, and she's now struggling for it's going to be her daughter's wedding. Should you not step in and give money? Maybe you should. But what happens is, in most Indian families, the money is being managed by the son, who perhaps does not need the money. Let us say this 85-year-old has a son who is the eldest, who is maybe 65, another son who is 60, and another daughter who is 55. The daughter is, financially speaking, the daughter is the weakest link. The sons don't need the money, and it is the eldest son who is managing the money, who did very well in life. He has a lot of his own money. His children are now doing well. So he does not even think of his mother's money as an inheritance which is going to come to him. Maybe it is going to come to him in 2 years, maybe it's going to come to him in 5 years or 7 years. But the youngest daughter, who is not doing very well, who is 55, would very happily collect 1 crore or 2 now and use it for her lifestyle, rather than get it when she's 70 years of age or 65 years of age. Maybe 10 years from now the mother dies at 95. Would that money have been useful for her today, for the daughter today? The answer is yes. But the problem is, the eldest son, who does not need the money himself, does not look at it that way, and he thinks, oh, that's my mother's money or that's my father's money. I will not look at it. I will not talk about it. It is his duty as the person who is looking after the money to talk to the other siblings and say, look, mom has 18 crores. I don't think it matters to me or to my younger brother, but to my sister it might matter. Or reverse, saying it does not matter to me or my sister, but to my younger brother it matters, because he's got 2 children or he's got 3 children, and one of them is going abroad for studying, or one of them is getting married and needs some more cash flow, right? So any of those reasons, if one of the siblings need money, it's very difficult for the person who needs money to say, look, mom has money, can I take some of it? It's never going to happen. The person who is managing should be able to find out which of the sibling needs the money, and that the mom has so much of a surplus. At 85, if she's got 20 crores or she's got 18 crores, for her to give away 1 crore to each kid, it should not be a problem at all. She need not panic. But the question is, it is her call, right? How much to give? Am I saying give away all the 18 crores and say, oh, my children will take care of me? That's one option to do. It's not such a bad option. But if you're not very sure about that, what happens if my daughter-in-law throws me out? What happens if my son dies and my daughter-in-law throws me out? What happens if my daughter dies and my son-in-law throws me out of the house? All these things are possible. So keeping some money for yourself is very useful. But at 85, for you to keep even 5 crores is good enough. You don't require more than that. Maybe you require less than 50 lakhs, right? But keeping 5 crores for yourself still leaves you with a surplus which you can give away to your children, siblings, nephews, niece, whoever you think needs it, right? If your son is, let's say your son is a bachelor, he's a professor in the US and he's earning very well and he has very little chance of coming back to India, you can always give away your house to your nephew or your niece and say, come live with me. After I die, this house will belong to you. Perfectly possible for you to do this, right? So you get the company of a person staying with you, the security of a person staying with you. All this is useful. Think of your money in all those terms, not just in terms of how much do I have, is it sufficient? Of course it is sufficient. For I mean, the US study shows that not more than 14% of the people, that is 1/7 of the retired people, need to sell their assets for meeting their day-to-day expenses. All of us will have enough income to live, so our assets will be untouched by the time we die. Of course, there will be exceptions, some 52-year-old who has some problem and is unable to earn, or a 54-year-old who is been hit by an accident and is gone into coma. But these are the exceptions, these are not the rule. We don't know what could happen to us, but giving away money during your life, spending it on yourself makes a lot of sense. It's not necessary that you have to give away everything, but give away substantially to the people whom you think will find it very useful. Let us say your driver's daughter is getting married and he has a shortfall of 50,000 rupees. Don't worry too much, or maybe short by 1 lakh of rupees. Don't worry too much. It's just, you are just there. God has sent you this money just to give away, right? So what is the point in saying, I will not give, I will die with all my money and give it when I die, and you die at the age of 97. By the time your kid, your oldest kid is 79, right? Does it really add any great value? So look at what you have. Look at, if you're handling your mother's money, then look at how much money your mother has or father has, and whether it can be distributed when you need it rather than when they die. Of course, it requires their consent. They may not be very comfortable. They may think, why are my children, aren't they very well off? Why do they need my money, right? They may think like that. So think about all this, talk about it, then take a decision, and please take a decision on the basis of the least, the weakest link in the chain, right? So if your brother needs it, he may not ask for it. If your sister needs it, she may not ask for it. You don't need it, so you will not talk about it. That should not happen. It is your job to sit and make sure that all your siblings are happy, and it may be very difficult for your sibling to accept money from you. Will your sibling accept a 50 lakh gift from you because she is paying for her son's education? May be difficult, but she may not mind taking 1 crore of the mother's assets, because she thinks, oh, it's just I have received it a little in advance, I'll get it 10 years later when my mother dies, so it's okay. So there is less guilt feeling and less helplessness feeling when it comes as a part of the inheritance which has come in advance, rather than the elder brother giving a gift or a loan which may be more difficult to accept. Thank you.